What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday morning. As always, we're going to double up the videos all throughout the week as we prepare for what looks to be a major winter storm for areas of the southeast, maybe mid-Atlantic, and then ultimately the northeast. So that's what we're going to do here. In the mornings, we take a look at all the model runs and the updates. We don't get very specific about things, but we give you the latest and greatest information off model guidance. If you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. Like the video if you like it. It goes a very long way here. Hit me up on Twitter. When it's active, I am very active on Twitter. It's a great way to stay up to date hourly on what's going on. Facebook also, same thing. Instagram's linked to Facebook. So great way to stay up to date. Let's get rolling here and not spend too much time on that. So the latest European, we'll look at it as a whole, brings this Arctic air mass down. And as it does, there's going to be a little bit of overrunning as basically the Arctic front, as we're getting into Thursday morning, is settled across here. So this is valid for Thursday morning. This potentially could bring a little snow, maybe a moderate amount of snow for areas, maybe as far south as Mississippi. I don't think this is going to be the main event. As it's been said, the first event when an Arctic air mass is coming through normally isn't the big storm. So this will just be a little bit of precipitation moving on in. Maybe West Virginia, Kentucky, parts of Tennessee could get a little bit of winter weather out of this. But what I want to watch here is as we're getting into overnight Thursday evening, really, into Friday morning, there might be a little teaser event for areas of southern Virginia and northern North Carolina. But this is just be the beginning of the storm. This continues to drop down and might bring might spread some wintry precipitation, snow, sleet, freezing rain into areas of Virginia, North Carolina. But as this keeps going here, we get into Friday morning. Check this out. Here comes our winter storm breaking out, a major ice storm showing up, and I'm really starting to think this is going to occur. Well over 100 hours, guys. It's no hype here. I mean, we've been watching this storm well before the last storm that hit 2 days ago. This has been showing up here, and I mean, we're about to be under the gun here. So here comes the latest run, major winter storm for the Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia. This continues to trail up the eastern seaboard into Maryland. Looks like a big storm for you guys, especially central Maryland to eastern Maryland, Delmarva area. Looks to get hard from this solution from the European. The GFS has trended towards the European, so there's been a little bit more model agreement overnight. But you know, the European was looking like it was getting super amped up on the 18Z run, meaning it was going to trend northwest. But the northwest trend has kind of stopped. It hasn't really continued overnight. We'll see what the 06Z run does, but this will turn to a nor'eastern for the New England and a pretty significant event for you guys. Get a little bit closer look at the southeast because this is more in the short term. Here comes that wintry precipitation dropping down the North Carolina as you get into Friday morning, but there'll be kind of a lull, and then another basically plume of moisture shoots up from the Gulf, overruns over this Arctic air that's dropping down. I want to mention Thursday during the day across the southeast, the temperatures will be dropping. Be kind of one of them weird days where the temperatures drop throughout the day, depending on your location, especially in the Carolinas, maybe Georgia, Virginia. So it's going to be wild as you actually feel the Arctic air mass move into place and really set the tone for winter weather as we get into the weekend. But as we get into, this will be Friday morning, that freezing line's dropping. It might start as some rain for areas of Georgia, South Carolina. But then as we get into later in the day, the temperature quickly drops, and then the ice storm begins. You know, we're not 100% confident there's going to be a raging ice storm, but confidence is definitely increased. And look at this little bit of snow showing up for Louisiana. Be interesting. I would not be surprised if that occurs even in Texas. When we get into Friday evening, the raging ice storm continues, and not to neglect the snow up here, but it looks like the same areas that normally see snow are probably going to see snow. But in general, wintry weather looks much further south, much further south than the event that occurred excuse me, almost had a hiccup, that occurred a couple days ago. But you know, it might start off as freezing rain late Friday, and then turn to snow late Friday, and then overnight the freezing rain event continues, and then it might switch to all snow. So areas that get a lot of freezing rain, there's a chance that it might switch back to all snow after all the damage is done. This is just, it has the look to me as a really bad ice storm. It really does. And I hate that for my folks and me. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and I look to be one of the epicenters to nasty ice if this was to occur. We keep looking a little further up. Look at this heavy snow showing up in Virginia, the Delmarva area, Maryland. If you're in the far western areas of Maryland, for now, it doesn't look as significant if you're looking at the Euro as areas of central and eastern areas of Maryland into Delaware. But that can change. These things tend to trend northwest. Honestly, for me, I'm hoping that it does not trend northwest, but I'm not going to get all personal and biased on my end. The more it trends northwest, the more warm air you have involved for the areas closer and further south and east. But this turns into a big-time snowstorm for areas of New York City to Boston as you're getting into late, basically Saturday and a Saturday evening. Then it pulls off on in the weekend. You look at the latest GFS, what does it show? So the GFS was kind of suppressed, but I don't want to ignore this first event either, because you guys, the GFS really likes this first event, especially Kentucky, West Virginia, even southern areas of Ohio and Indiana. Indiana has been skunked this winter really bad, and it looks like this system's going to skunk y'all too, unless somehow that energy trends north, which I don't really see happening. See these blue lines, how close they are together? That symbolizes more cold air. This is dipping down. Arctic boundary stalls down here, and here it comes. Actually, as early as Friday morning, you have wintry precipitation showing up all along the Gulf Coast. I think this will verify. Typically, it does. I will not be surprised waking up Friday morning hearing reports of winter, a wintry mix. But this continues. Sorry, guys, my video had a little bit of a glitch or something there just now. But I would not be surprised to see if there's wintry precipitation even farther very south. But as you get into Friday afternoon, check out this wintry precipitation spreading across South Carolina. If you're looking at the GFS, it kind of whiffs Georgia a little bit more, but this shows another significant storm. The purple is the sleet, the pink is the freezing rain, the blue is the snow on tropical tidbits. So this would be a mess. It would show areas like Columbia to Fayetteville being more of right in the mix between snow and freezing rain, y'all being in kind of the sleet zone. But snow to the north. But the GFS still isn't at the level where the Euro is as far as it being much more further northwest. But this would depict just pretty much a major winter storm for southeast standards for this. And then that continues to go on. Snow overspread in southeast Virginia as we're getting into Saturday morning. And then the GFS still has that second storm, but it's different looking. It's a little bit quicker, but it shows another wave that moves over areas of central Georgia, South Carolina in the form of freezing rain, maybe some light snow, and then that moves on off. And we'll see how that develops and starts to pick up more on that again, but then that's over. But a little bit closer look at the southeast. We'll move on through here, and here it is. Well, let me back it up here. Here it is, showing a wintry mess for the Carolinas and portions of Georgia and Virginia for sure. The latest Canadian model is a little weird here. You get it here, and it's just warmer and warmer in general. It doesn't really show wintry weather really far south, but it does show a nice event for upstate South Carolina, most of North Carolina and Virginia, and never quite gets it together enough to really get to the northeast. Let's look at some snowfall accumulations. First off, let's look at the ice from the Euro. This is devastating ice, guys. It really is. Even the 60th of an inch for Columbia is a crippling ice storm. But these totals showing up in eastern North Carolina, that would be catastrophic. That would do damage to trees equivalent to what a hurricane does, a low-end hurricane. I'm serious. This is a big deal. I don't think totals will get this high. They never do, but it looks pretty bad, guys. It really does. Someone's going to get an ice storm in the Carolinas, just like I said before with the last storm. I really think someone's going to get an ice storm. It might be areas further south. As far as the Euro with snow totals, the axis is out obviously more north, but shows snow as far south as Atlanta, and then northeastern parts of Alabama. But the axis of heavier snow shows up in the mid-Atlantic, and then really close to the big cities of New York City, Boston, and then shows a good hit for Maryland and Delaware, southern New Jersey, and a nice hit for areas of North Carolina that normally, climate-wise, normally see snow. But almost an inch in Columbia after the ice pulls away. See how that works. You look at the latest GFS with ice totals. It's a little bit further south, but I hate to use this word, but it's real. Catastrophic ice totals showing up here. This would be devastating for these areas of South Carolina and southeastern North Carolina and central Georgia. It really would. Look at the snow totals off the GFS. Right here. I want to mention, there's a weird cutoff right here. That's because I don't really have a graphic to show sleet totals, but there's going to be some sleet right in here too. Keep going. This is the GEFS ensembles. Stout signal for wintry weather. That's all we can really say. All these blues, when you get into the purples, that's over 6 inches. This does not account for freezing rain. I believe it only accounts for sleet and snow. But this is a solid signal in the Carolinas. into Virginia for sleet and snow. It really is. And then the EPS ensembles. It's a little bit more north and just different looking in general. But this only accounts for snow and sleet too. It's not accounting the freezing rain showing up in the Carolinas and Georgia. So confidence, all the confidence has done is really increased on a winter storm occurring. Nothing has really changed. The timing, I think, has gotten a little bit more confident that something's going to happen Thursday night into Friday into Saturday. Now, second storm's still a big question mark. The GFS still shows something. But what falls in the cold air aloft is still a big question. So that's all I got, guys. My morning update. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Have you an update tonight.